Today is September 12th, and I got your NFL Week 1 recap. I'm Braden Slater. This is Down and Distance. And before we jump into NFL, we had a crazy game on Saturday. Texas versus Alabama. Texas won 34-24. Total yardage. Texas dominated that game. It was not even close. Well, I mean, it was kind of close, but except for Alabama had a couple of turnovers and the penalties that I do not agree with. Texas won that game fair and square. Baylor, on the other hand, had a chance to take down Utah after making adjustments after losing to Texas State. Well, they almost did, but Utah, just like Texas, made fourth-quarter changes and took over the game in the fourth quarter at 1, winning 20-13. Oregon, oh boy, Oregon has just struggled against Texas Tech, and Texas Tech lost to Wyoming. Yeah, of all teams, yeah, but they're at home this time. And they brought it. Texas Tech brought it. They brought the energy. And they had the lead for a majority of the game. But Utah, not Utah. The other Pac-12 team, Oregon, managed to get things done late in the game. And they actually forced a fumble touchdown, so a scoop 6 touchdown, and won 38-13. But Appalachian State does it again against North Carolina. Well, almost does it again against North Carolina. It went to double overtime, but this time Mack Brown, he knew how to beat him this time, winning 40-34. Mack Brown, after the game, said he's excited that he won't have to play App State ever again, but he does get credit when credit is due. But, yeah. I do not know why power schools keep scheduling App State. I mean, A&M lost to them last year. The same year they beat North Carolina. I don't know what the problem is, but wow, what a game that was. Ole Miss, on the other hand, struggled at Tulane. They had the offense, but not the defense that Lane Kiffin probably wants, but got it done, beating Tulane 37-20. Tulane showed up. They are still a good team. I think Tulane very likely will win the American Conference based on the way they look right now. And sure enough, Tulane will be back in a New York Six bowl game. And are they going to play USC again? I don't know. We'll see about that. SMU is on the road. SMU is pretty much for the last 5 to 7 years-ish, they've had a top 15 offense. They still, I think, look like they have a top 15 offense throughout their first couple of weeks. But Oklahoma's defense shut them down. Only hold them to 11 points. That's the lowest amount of points SMU scored. And since I think 04. But Oklahoma did struggle a little bit on offense. SMU did have some defense there, but able to come together in the fourth quarter. Defense made stops. Offense took advantage of it, winning 28-11. Vanderbilt, I thought they were my team this year, and the Cinderella team in the SEC this year. Apparently not. I guess that was just last year. But Wake Forest getting it done against Vanderbilt, 36-20. What a job. I really actually had Vanderbilt winning this game, so yeah, that's an upset for me, I guess. But never again will I pick Vanderbilt to beat a Power 5 school. So Vanderbilt, you're back at the bottom of the SEC. Sorry about that. Wake Forest, continue to climb. Iowa State. This is a huge rivalry. I love seeing these two play every year. This year, it was more offense this year than it was last year. It was all defense last year. But finally had some touchdowns scored, especially Iowa. Iowa actually looks like a normal team, a normal, modern team, normal gameplay. They won 20-13 over Iowa State. Man, Matt Campbell has got some work to do. When he first took over that job, Iowa State slowly got better and was very competitive in the Big 12. But the last couple of years, he's really in the middle. I don't know what his problem is, but his job's on the line if he can't turn Iowa State around. Cincinnati, first year in the Big 12, playing against Pittsburgh, really good Power 5 school. Yep, and this is kind of a rivalry, kind of not, but yeah, same general location anyway. But Cincinnati pulls up a big win, 27-21. As expected, I did pick Cincinnati to win this game. Woo! Got that W right there. I'll talk about my pick'ems coming up in a little bit. All right, next game up. Arizona, Mississippi State. This is a good one. This one went to overtime as well. It was late, but the Pac-12 finally gets a loss. Yep. Yeah, Arizona, you ruined the Pac-12 tradition this year. Streak. Yeah, the Pac-12 went 12-0 to start the first 2 weeks, and then Mississippi State and Oklahoma State knocked both their Arizona teams out of it. So now the Pac-12 is 12-2 now. But hey, the Pac-12 falling apart. But Mississippi State, I picked Mississippi State to win this game. It's closer than I thought it was going to be, but 31-24 was that win. All right, who's our player of the week? Tyler Van Duncan from Miami, quarterback. He had an impressive win over A&M. 21 for 30, 374 yards, 5 touchdowns. All passing touchdowns. 0 interceptions. I gotta say, A&M probably has one of the best talented defense, but clearly, statistically, they're not getting it done. And a little note about him is he did have one running play for negative 12 yards. So that's all I gotta say about that. That was trash. Is back. I got one play for you this week, and it's a good one. Ball State versus Georgia. Ball State's got the ball first. He throws it. It bounces off the Georgia player's heel, and Georgia catch it for the interception. What a play. I don't even know how that happened. It just bounced off his heel. I don't know who he was throwing it to, but bounced off his heel. Georgia player catches it. That was trash. What? That was really stupid. It's upset alert time. Washington State pulls out the first upset of the day over Wisconsin, 31-22. Wisconsin. Come on. This is supposed to be your season to be competitive in the Big Ten. Knock Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State out. Maybe potentially beat one of those top 3 in the other divisions. Nope. Wisconsin continues to stay in the middle. They always have one team one-ups them, basically, but, yeah, that was that, but, Miami getting it done for the ACC, pulling off a big upset against A&M. Yep, Jimbo Fisher, this is supposed to be their year. He totally changed up his staff. It looks like, this is going to be their off-the year. Nope. Miami wins 48-33, yeah. Number 1 talented defense allows Miami to score 48 points. Yeah, that's real impressive. James Madison, they're in the FBS now. This year. They actually moved tradition into last year. But picking up their first Power 5 win over Virginia, 36-35. Yes, they won by 1 point. What an impressive win by James Madison. Can't wait to see how they do in the future. Next up, Houston. They're in the Big Ten now, but it won't be for long after the way they lose to Rice. 43-41. Well, I guess you got to give USC some credit because USC did struggle to Rice. So I guess Rice is better than most people thought. So now I got to keep my eye on Rice. How they do in conference. They win their conference. I'll get Houston and USC some credit saying that it was USC bad win changed into a good win. Houston's loss changed into a good loss now. All right, overrated and overrated time. Wisconsin is my overrated team this year. Get them out of here. Once again, they lose a game early. A game early on, a game that they should have won. Get them out of here. Drop them out of the rankings. I don't even have them ranked. I'll get to my rankings here in a little bit. But yeah, get them out of the rankings. AP, get them out of the rankings. They don't deserve to be ranked ever again unless they go undefeated all the way up through October. Yeah. If Wisconsin wants to be back to being football, they have to win the games that they need to win, and they need to beat one of the big three. Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State. They need to beat one of those three in the other division. Otherwise, their division continues to fall apart just like Nebraska. Alright, so who is this week's underrated team? This is going to be pretty interesting because who do you all think is underrated? Is it going to be Oklahoma? Is it going to be, not Oklahoma, but, Miami? Miami likely? Is it Miami? It is Miami. It is my underrated team this week, and I really need to fix this graphic to where it comes in sooner. But, I'm always done talking about overrated by the time it comes in. Anyway, underrated Miami. I love the way that they performed. Their defense could be better, but again, who plays defense these days anyway? It's all about the offense. But what a great game all around. Putting up 48 points to A&M. They did allow 33 points, but again, we're in the modern college football where it's all offense and no defense. Which I hate. I love defense so much. I wish the defense would come back. Bring the defense back. Miami used to be home of the defense. But anyway, Miami is slowly getting back to where they are. Just fix your defense and they're back to being them. Miami is ranked now in the AP poll. I'll talk about the ranking here in a little bit. But now it's time for... Oh, man. We gotta talk about my pick'em. Okay. Yeah. Well, it didn't go well last year. Let's see how I'm doing now. I went 6 for 4 again. Wow. I know I got 41 points last week, 38 points this week. Slightly worse, but I'll take it. I'm 12 for 8. It's kind of on the borderline of, if I had one bad week, I'm like under 500. But also, I'm above 500, 78 points. I'll take it. I'm over 500 for now. I just need to have one good week. And, week 3 doesn't have any ranked versus ranked opponents. Which when last time that happens, we had a lot of upsets. Okay, so now I gotta make some decisions for this coming week. Anyway, Texas, Alabama, total points. I picked 60. It was 58. I was so close with Texas winning 34-24. How did I do get the spread? The same thing. I don't know how I could do that. And they do different games too, so it's not like it's the same games. It's different games. Back to back, and both pick'em things. I went 6 for 4 each week. 12 for 8, 60 points. But I did go with 5 points higher. I need to totally make it different anyway. Yeah. 65 points total with 60. But I picked Alabama to cover. They did not. I'm disappointed. I thought Nick Saban would have had things going by now. I'm thinking, after the barely winning by a field goal last year, they're at home this year and they'll figure out how to beat them. But dang, yeah, I'm 1-1 in that now. All right, NFL headline time. The main part of this week's show. All right, Aaron Rodgers has to torn Achilles tension. So he's out for the rest of the season. All the hype over the offseason, all the excitement for the Jets fans, just for him to get injured 4 plays into the game. first game of the season, his first game with the Jets, he's out. That's disappointing. But they did win. I'll get to that in just a little bit. The Cowboys won 40-0 over the Giants. Yes, you see that correctly. The Cowboys put up 40 points. That's a lot. That's a lot for the Cowboys. But not only did they put up 40 points, they allowed 0. There's the defense I was looking for. And the Cowboys put them at the top of my list. They're winning the National Conference. They are. All right. Next game up is, it's loading. Come on. There it goes. The Panthers versus the Falcons. 24-10, the Falcons won. I gotta say, I'm impressed. I'm impressed by the Falcons. I really thought the Panthers, they finally have a good quarterback coming in. I really thought that they would change their season around. Once again, the Panthers are a disappointment. Falcons, congratulations. You're moving on to the next round. No, it's not the next round. You're moving on to week 2 with a W, and I think they're playing the Saints. I don't remember, but they got a tough game coming up in week 2. So be prepared, Falcons. Be prepared. All right, next game, the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield, first game as a Bucs. He's taking over. A legendary quarterback, Tom Brady. First game against the Vikings, wins 20-17. Congratulations, you're 1-0, Baker. And I gotta say, that was an impressive win. I didn't see the game, but I heard a lot of good things coming from that game in the Buccaneers. So, what a win for Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay. And, moving on to the next game. We got the Titans versus the Saints. This is a really, really tight ball game. Again, I didn't see this one either, but, this one was really close. I actually thought that the Titans were have a shot at the playoff. The Saints, probably not so much. They're like at the bottom of the NFL. But they won. The Saints won 16-15. They won by 1 point, but they won. Titans, what happened to the Titans? I thought they were expected to be really great this year. I heard great things about the Titans. I guess not anymore. It's all about the Saints now. The Saints go marching home, or what? Wait, I know the song, but for some reason, the Saints go marching in. Anyway, the big Monday Night Football game. The game that Aaron Rodgers went down. You really thought the second he went down, the Bills were going to win. No, that was not the case. The Jets' defense was all over the Bills. They couldn't get anything going on offensively at all. The Jets managed to send it to overtime. Yes, the game went to overtime. The Bills got the ball first, forced a 3 and out. Guess what? The Bills punt. The Jets return man catches the ball. He gets a couple of yards down the field. He's got blockers. He goes all the way to score the game-winning touchdown, 22-16. All right, I got some college football headlines for you. All right, TZ Walker, has transferred a lot the past couple of years, but he's finally in North Carolina, a place where he wants to be, and because of injuries, and a new NCAA rule, he is not eligible to play. Well, North Carolina had put a emergency meeting in last night trying to help him play because he deserves to play, and I agree with him. I looked at his trend and his stats and everything that's happened. He deserves to play. Let him play. Come on, NCAA. Let him play. And here's what Nick Saban had to say about losing to Texas. The future is now. I don't think it's any huge secret or anything that we did not execute on a consistential enough basics, Saban said. Yeah. To submit or to translate it up for you or to summarize it, he's not happy about the penalties they had, even though, to me, I honestly think that it was the officials on all one side. I mean, yeah, some of them, I agree, Alabama was in the wrong. But some of them, most of them, were the officials' faults. But, yeah, Nick Saban's not happy, and he's hoping to fix that up. All right, let's take a look at my ranking. Number 21, after beating A&M, they're at 21. I kind of just said that anyway. Yeah, 22 is A&M. 23 is Ole Miss. 24 is North Carolina. And 25 is Tulane. Even after losing to Ole Miss, it was close enough. I still think Tulane should still deserve to be ranked because I really feel like Tulane is going to win the rest of the season. So what's going to happen is I'll probably drop them out. If I drop them out this week, they'll win a big one next week. They'll jump back into the rankings and probably stay in the rankings for the rest of the season. So it doesn't make sense to drop them out and then jump them back in for the rest of the season like I'm predicting. But if they lose next week, then they'll probably be out. Anyway, yeah, they'll definitely be out. They lose next week. They're at 25. Anyway, 16 is Clemson. Number 17 is Florida. Number 18 is Iowa. 19 is Oregon State. And number 20 is Washington. Yep, they're all moving up a few spots. I think the most surprising one is I still have Clemson and Florida ranked. Florida hasn't been ranked at all this year. And I'll get to Florida next week. Florida wins next week. Not only do they, I think AP should rank them, I think they're the most underrated team in the SEC. Just wait. Just watch. Number 11 is Oregon. Number 12 is K-State. Number 13 is Notre Dame. Number 14 is USC. Number 15 is LSU. As you notice that, Notre Dame, USC, opening week, week 0, probably they look like they're a playoff team. But since then, they really haven't. They've really been pretty neutral on their wins. They really haven't been that explosive. I mean, I've seen a few problems, just like Oregon K-State has had. That's the reason why I have them that low, but we'll see. It's still early in the season. Alabama drops all the way down to 7. I got Oklahoma at 8. Number 9 is Tennessee, and number 10 is Utah. And you're probably wondering, well, wasn't Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Utah like up the few spots? Yeah, they dropped down one. Why? They won. Well, Texas. I had to jump. But Texas beat Alabama. I got to get credit where it's due. Texas deserved to be in the top 6. How high in the top 6? Well, let's go find out. Here are my top 6 rankings. At number 1, I still have Ohio State. Number 2, I still have Florida State at number 2. I really haven't seen, Ohio State has had some, I guess Indiana wasn't that great, but they're getting this weekend. They won really big. I'm impressed. Florida State did their job. I still think those two teams deserve the number 2 spot. Number 1 and number 2. Georgia is up there with Alabama's lost. Yep, they're jumping in to number 3. Number 6 is Texas. Yes, I put them up at number 6. And I'm really surprised at what, I'll get to AP in a second, but I'm really surprised about how high they put them. Number 4 is Penn State. And number 5 is Michigan. All right, let's take a look at AP top 6. Number 1, still Georgia, of course. But did they make any changes? Is there any possibility they could put Georgia, Florida State, or Texas at 2? Big question here. Who did they put at 2? I actually just forgot. They still have Michigan at 2. So now the question is it going to be Florida State or Texas? Yep, it's Florida State at 3. So that means Texas probably likely, it's between Texas and Penn State for 4. They have Ohio State at 6. I can't believe they dropped them. They were at 5. I really think that they would keep them at 5. Really, or maybe put them in at 4 with Alabama losing. No. They put Texas at 4. And USC at 5. They don't even have Penn State recognized in the top 6. So, who they have new ranking this week? Miami, I agree, at 22. Washington State, I agree at 23. They're just barely missed my ranking. UCLA at 24. I don't agree with that one. I mean, yeah, UCLA is a good team, but I'm waiting until they get to the Pac-12 play to see if they need to be ranked. Iowa at 25. I agree with that. The teams that fell out, Wisconsin, A&M, Tulane, and Clemson are out of the rankings. Wow, who'd have thought that A&M, well, I mean, I'm not surprised about A&M. Who would have thought that Clemson would have been out of the ranking? Texas with the biggest jump up to 7, Alabama with the biggest fall all the way down to 10. I still can't believe they dropped Alabama that much. Anyway, let's check out. We go around the network here on Busy Sports. Slateport Podcast will be every Monday at 6 o'clock. I know we had some technical issues with the weather and internet yesterday, but I'll get it. I'll get it there. Going live is still working on it. Down It Is this show, every Tuesday at 6. Basketball comes back around. It'll be every Wednesday at 6. Hot Seat will be the first Sunday of every month at 6, putting coaches on the spot. Dabo Sweeto and Jimbo Fisher so far early through week 2. And then our flagship show, American Game Day, our weekend show, every Saturday at 10 a.m. And if you haven't already, check out our website for the latest news, scores, stats, etc. That's all going around the network here on Busy Sports. Yes, it's a great network. Yeah, all right, let's jump into some games to watch for week 3. Thursday, we got an American Conference game. Navy versus Memphis, 6:30 on ESPN. This is going to be a really, really important game to watch, mainly because we really don't know much about these two teams. These two teams did okay non-conference, but, conference play, this is where it really matters. And I got to say, both these two teams predicting to be in the middle of the conference. But I do think Memphis will get the win that night. So, put me for the W for Memphis. All right. What games do we have Saturday? What big game do we have Saturday? Well, the SEC is underway. 11 o'clock ESPN. LSU versus Mississippi State. This is going to be a really, really, really big game to pay very close to because Mississippi State, they had a really good win. They almost lost to Arizona. I think they're going to get their act together. They're at home this time. And keep a lookout. I'm putting LSU on upset alert. This is going to be a really close game. And this is going to go down to the last play. Either it's going to come down to the last play or LSU is going to get a really big defensive stop and win the game. Again, I'll have my predictions on American Game Day on Saturday. Next big game up, well, it's South Carolina and Georgia. South Carolina probably should be ranked, but there's so many good teams this year, you can only rank 25. But at 2:30 CBS, the SEC Game of the Week, somehow, some way. But the 1 seed Georgia, they're at home, so I think the main reason why it's not that big of a game. But I think Georgia possibly will get things done. But Spencer Rattler, if he shows up, if he himself shows up and has a good game, they can pull off a big upset. All right, and then 6 o'clock on ESPN, we got Tennessee versus Florida. This is going to be a really huge one, mainly because Florida is not ranked. They are my Cinderella team in the SEC. They are going to surprise one. If there's one team to take down Tennessee, that's going to be Florida. It's not going to be Alabama A&M. No, it's going to be Florida. They're at home. Yeah, Florida is at home. That could be a big one. All right, our game of the week is at Spartan Stadium. Yeah, Michigan State. Who is Michigan State playing? They're playing Washington. Why is this a big game? Well, because there's no ranked versus ranked opponents. So, this is the best we got. And it's not on NBC. It's on Peacock. Yeah, at 4 o'clock. I don't have a problem with the 4 o'clock timing. It's the Peacock. I don't want to spend $5.99 just to watch this game. But I'm going to have to anyway. But, yeah. Anyway, Washington, number 8 versus Michigan State. Michigan State probably they have a chance to make some noise, make some sounds in the Big Ten. They win this game, being on the lookout for Michigan State to pull off some upsets. Also, Washington. I mean, they have a chance to totally take down and make the Pac-12 crazy if they win that game, too, because that would be a huge road game for Washington. All right. Thanks for watching Down the Distance. I'll see you guys next week and Saturday on American Game Day. Thanks for watching.